5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Back.
Hello and welcome everyone
back.
to Truth, Beer, and Podsequences.
New technique. Back. I'm just going to keep saying it until I synchronize. Back.
This is a podcast where my co-hosts and I listen to all the Cincinnati craft beer media and podcasts from the previous week. We get together at a podcast host, and today we are
back.
Yes!
I did it!
It's only taken 3 years.
We are at Sonder Brewing in Mason, and today is the first Tuesday after Black Friday, which was the first day that you could pick up your pre-ordered Family Tradition bottles.
Yes.
Was on Friday, and so today is the day that we have recorded here. Today makes the third year in a row.
Yes, it is.
You guys are
It is our
back.
family tradition.
Back.
We are back.
Shit, I thought if
Sorry.
I did it, you would...
You had it. You got one. It's all downhill from here.
I don't understand. The hand signals, I just can't figure it out.
Yeah.
Do I wave this hand, or
Just-
do I... Is it a foot thing? Like, do you guys tap each other's toes?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean-
how does
There's-
this...
I know.
could be foot things.
Okay.
No.
But anyways, my name is Marco. I am a taproom manager here locally. I did brew beer in the Cincinnati area for several years. The two voices that you heard, one belongs to the Gnarly Gnome, the other belongs to the best co-host in Podcast Landia.
I'm Julia. I like to drink all the beer in the Cincinnati area, and I like to post things for Beervent so early in the day that it spoils
So
the Beervent
early.
beer for everyone.
Does not.
It's always afternoon, so and no matter what time of day I post it, it's always potentially going to spoil it for someone. So
If
you
you're-
know it's coming. Deal with it.
I have a statement.
Gnome, talk about it.
I have a statement
Preach,
right
Gnome.
now.
Yes.
Let's go, Gnome.
It's beer vent season.
Yes.
If you, number one, if you've got your calendar, the first thing you do when you wake up should be pull your beer.
Yeah.
And look at it.
That's what I do.
And look at it. Like, that should be the first thing in the morning. You should run downstairs like a kid on Christmas morning, pull your beer, look at it, giggle, show your family, get it back in the fridge if you need to. If not, just open it up and drink it right then. That's the way you should be doing beer vent.
Agreed. Sorry, I got lost in the beer.
You left us for a second.
I
there.
did. I disappeared. So, as is tradition for us now,
Yeah.
Watch it drinking.
we have flights. Well, some of us have flights of family tradition.
We have flights and
the
we're
different.
sharing.
Yes.
Do I need
we
to
are,
go
we
get
are,
a flight? Am I
No,
doing something
you're-
wrong?
No,
only if you want to. No. Only if you want to. But you are more than welcome to sample all of them. Would you like base?
Not right this second.
Because that's what I just had. Because I mean, you start with the base. Why
My
wouldn't you? And
face
then you.
is being Kenosha kicked right now.
This is very true.
Ah, okay.
Very true. That base is absolutely phenomenal.
It's great.
I remember last year they had, I believe it was 2022 and 2023 on tap. And I didn't really care for the 23 all that much. I think, Marco, I
It was
gave
the
you
older
my
one.
bottle.
Yeah.
All the other ones were great, but just something about the 23 base just didn't hit me right. This one is absolutely everything that I want family tradition to be.
Okay.
I freaking love it.
great.
And that's what we're going to be doing during this episode. So, Marco, I'll let you get back to the intro. I'm going to let you finish, but
Thank you.
we're gonna just in between the podcast reviews, we're gonna be sipping on family tradition, letting you know what we're drinking, and really letting you know our thoughts on it, which we don't really do very often. We're not
ever.
a beer review show, so
we
Nobody
don't.
cares about what you think.
pretty much.
Yeah.
But this
We get it.
episode for family tradition,
Tough shit.
right? You're just gonna have to deal with it.
Tough cookies.
Exactly.
Tough Christmas cookies.
Yes. Anyway, sorry. That's me.
No, that's fine.
Are you guys like in the Christmas spirit now?
No,
Are we there yet?
All right, Marco, I'll hand the intro back over to you to.
Okay. All right. So all the thoughts and opinions on this podcast are ours and ours alone. They do not reflect any entity which we may be affiliated with, such as full-time jobs, part-time jobs, especially around the Christmas season. Don't fire me or Julia. Gnome can't be fired from his own company.
I could. I've worried about my wife sometimes.
Okay.
She might fire me.
Okay.
But my thoughts and opinions are representative of Santa and the North Pole.
Excellent.
all right.
Excellent.
All right.
fuck with me, Santa.
Wow. All right. Do you top 5
Got
Christmas
cameras.
movies?
Oh, favorite Christmas movies. All right, Christmas Vacation, Christmas Story, Home Alone. Top 3. Beyond that, I'm not ready.
Okay.
Those are my top 3. Am I missing something? Am I missing one?
Some people would say Die Hard, Nightmare Before Christmas.
Die
I
Hard's
think
good.
Die Hard's on my list. Jingle All the Way is on my list.
I like that. Die Hard, I have a problem. I love it, and it's a great Christmas movie. I can't watch it with my kids yet.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
does kind of
Because, like,
factor in.
yeah, that's
I
fair.
do watch it
Because
usually.
someone snorts Coke.
Yeah.
And there's boobies in it, too.
This week on Truth, Beer, and Podsequences, we are going to, as usual, talk about the previous week in Cincinnati craft
We're
beer
recording a
media.
podcast.
We are recording a podcast.
Yeah.
Yes.
This week, we only have 4 main pieces of content to talk about, but we have a couple like mini bites, mini mentions.
Hell yeah.
That we wanna do. So let's start with seeing if we all watched or listened to the main pieces of content we're going to talk about.
Good.
Okay.
We have 2 episodes of the Craft Parenting Podcast,
Yep.
Hearth Brewing and
Yep.
their Beervent intro.
Yep.
And then we have
Yep.
2 episodes of the weekly Point.
Yep.
Yep.
Let's
All right.
do it.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
TWP.
Yeah, you know us.
Yeah, you know us.
That bass
Yep.
is like just astonishingly good.
It's wonderful.
That is fantastic. Marco, do you want to start off with our 2 brief mentions
Yeah.
for shows that we're not doing full recaps of because they're not 100% Cincinnati beer based, but they're absolutely worth mentioning?
Yes.
All right, let's do it.
Absolutely. So, shout outs and mentions go to Blake's Craft Beer Podcast.
Yes.
For Warp Wing.
Whiskey Rebellion.
Whiskey Rebellion.
Yes.
Go and listen to that. It's got 2 fantastic guests on the pod and takes you through, his experience and their discussion with Warp Wing and Whiskey Rebellion.
Which the only reason we're not covering that as one of our shows this week is even though there is a Warped Wing location in
Taproom.
Mason Taproom. Whiskey Rebellion Day really isn't a thing here in Cincinnati.
No,
it
it's
is
a
definitely
Dayton
a
event.
Dayton thing. So that's the only reason why we're not doing a recap of it. It doesn't fit in the wheelhouse, but Blake is doing some
And I would say
fantastic stuff. So.
even with their location here, they're
it's
still a
not the
Dayton
same.
brewery.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree.
Yeah.
Keeping on the same trend, but another content creator locally, Adam Makes Beer, did a 15 and a half minute video with Warped Wing on their...
Are we supposed to talk about him when we're here? We don't. Didn't they try to murder him or something?
I mean, they pushed him off the top of a fermenter, but
think so.
Yeah.
he survived,
my truth.
so I think it's okay.
He survived.
yeah.
He did survive,
Yeah.
surviving and thriving.
I think it's one of
I
those
think he's
things
going to talk
where,
about
like,
that next month's Q&A.
if you're a ninja and a ninja comes to kill you and you live, then you're allowed to live.
That's a good point. Yeah, I'll accept that.
So Adam Makes Beer did about a 15 and a half minute video with Warped Wing about their canning line. And their canning line was really something special. You should go. You've got 15 minutes. I know
Yeah,
all
absolutely.
of you do.
Yeah.
One of the cool things, just to prove that I watched, was the way that the can lids, and I think he called them the tops or whatever, but the can ends get fed through the machine. And then there's also something really cool about
Through Bert Kreischer.
Bert
They
Kreischer.
go right through
They
him?
go right through Bert
The
Kreischer.
machine.
The machine. And then
I'm sorry, but that's all he is anymore. He's just the machine. That's
yeah,
it.
I'm a big fan of his joke. And then
His one joke.
Yeah. As who was it? Anyways, comedian said it. There's also where the cans go, and then there's a sensor to see if they're filled. And what's interesting is that they have a beer called Gamma Bomb, and an alternative system to the one that they have to see if the cans are filled uses gamma rays, but they don't use it. But anyways, go and watch. It's interesting content. And Adam, shout out to you. Please continue to make great and interesting content, and we will continue to watch and talk about it.
Absolutely.
I personally think that his ability to create really cool, engaging content is better now than it's ever been. Like, he's got this great opportunity to make some really cool stuff. If you're especially a local brewery and you want to help kind of him make content and have somebody come in and create some content with you, reach out to Adam.
Oh my God,
yeah.
What he's doing is
make
phenomenal.
some stuff right now
With him, 100%.
Let him show you how you can change your business, because yeah.
All right, before we get
What is
into
us?
our first podcast, Apple Brandy Barrel Aged Family Tradition. This is another really good one. I'll wait till everyone has taken their sips, and then we will pontificate a bit about it. That, at first, my first thought was, I'm not getting a ton of apple, but then on the back, that finish, that's more Red Delicious. At first I thought Granny Smith, and I'm like, it's not tart enough. Is that like a Red Delicious kind of taste?
Yeah,
is that like, I'm trying to pick the apple. It's not a Honeycrisp. It's not a Gale. It's not one of those super sweet apples.
I definitely
but
get
I
like
don't think it's
straight up Red Delicious apple booze. That's great. It's still not over the top with like barrel and like
which I like. I know that we've
booze?
talked
That's
many times about some of my complaints every now and then about barrel aged beer. I still want to taste the beer more than the barrel.
Yeah.
If I want to taste a ton of barrel, I'm going to buy whiskey, or I'm going to buy bourbon. I'm going to buy whatever spirit it is.
Yeah.
That's a great beer.
That is ridiculously good.
Good beer. Great beer.
That's very, very good. Props to you, Sonder. That so far, 2 home runs, base and the apple brandy.
Hell yeah.
And Kenosha Kickers.
And Kenosha Kickers.
3 home runs.
Yep.
3 home runs, absolutely. Let's move on to Craft Parenting Podcast, episode 206, Hearth Brewing with Andrew Plogsted.
Yeah.
Yes.
Another Andy.
Another Andy to add to the Cincinnati craft beer Andy pile. Andy is one of 3 owners and one of 2 brewers down at Hearth. And according to Caroline, West Side drinkers aren't always the most adventurous.
Bullshit.
That's what I was thinking. I'm listening. I'm going, I think there is a subset that fizzy yellow, that's all they want to drink. But I think that West Side drinkers are incredibly adventurous. West Side drinkers are willing to drive to opposite ends of the West Side to go to different breweries within the West Side to drink beers made in the West Side.
All of the people I know that are West Side drinkers, which are 4.
Right.
Julia, Josh, Joe, Caroline.
Caroline!
They all are adventurous. Well, actually, 3.
I know we're not supposed to talk about the next beer yet. That's good.
That's a cigar blend. It's so good. It's so good.
That's a great beer.
That's a great beer. I'm taking one of those home.
Ooh, that thing it does at the end. So this was aged in bourbon, 2 different bourbon barrels, and then
Some kind of other barrel.
yeah.
That is delicious.
With these beers, if I get a bottle, I'm drinking the whole thing. They're just not Josh's thing, which is perfectly fine. That's not something that I could do a whole bottle of. So I would not buy that just because I would want a taster of that on occasion.
Yeah.
But once you open the bottle, you're committed.
Isn't that the bigger topic about pretty much all of these, which is again going back to the format and the sizing of all these?
Sure.
I mean, I really love a taster of these. I'd really love probably a taster of something like this on any given night, but to have to wait to
8
know.
ounces.
Yeah.
I want 8 ounces.
8 ounces.
Yeah.
And I don't think that doing that in smaller format would make it any less special.
I don't think
because
so.
it's like it's going to
Depending on how you price it.
Sure,
That's the problem. Like you see breweries that'll shrink the format and then leave the price the same, and then it kind of makes people mad about it, and like it doesn't feel good anymore, and like
right. I think there definitely is a perception that if the format is smaller, even if you're doing like a 4-pack of 8-ounce cans, that's still more than one bottle. But even if you price it the same as them, they're going, well, wait a second, this doesn't make sense. But,
like astronaut food.
Exactly.
Man, if we could get these in those 8-ounce
oh my
doses,
God, I would.
that would be so great.
Oh my God! I mean, it would just.
Absolutely.
I honestly think somebody needs to understand that this could be the future of the way that people line up and want all of the stuff that you have.
Right. Because there are some of these beers that Josh would drink like maybe half of an 8-ounce can of, but he's not going to want to like split a full 8-ounce whatever.
Think about like
that's so much easier.
Think about the packaging possibilities of that. You have 8-ounce cans. You could get the entire lineup in like a little box. Just a little box of the full allotment of everything.
Right.
Like there's so many fun things that somebody could do.
Oh,
with it,
it's so amazing.
But I recognize that that's not, what.
No, I get it, and I get that too. But somebody has to think about it. I'm not saying someone has to do it, but
they should.
If we're not lining up for these things anymore, if we're going to release these online and it sells well, but we wish it sold better, what are you going to do next time to try and sell through everything that you have? What's the different thing that you're going to do?
Yep, 100%.
Then why not try it?
Yeah.
The only thing you lose is that 1 year's release, and then you can come back. People are still going to drink the thing you put in the bottle.
Right.
You could go back to bottles. You all you need to do is try it once, and if it doesn't work,
and see what the demand is. Yeah.
Arguably, if it's a good beer, it only gets more valuable if it doesn't sell that year and you stash it away. And then, arguably.
But anyway, back to
Crap Parenting Podcast.
Oh, those guys.
Yeah.
The brewery started after a threat. Andy kept saying, they kind of kept bouncing back and forth, Andy and Andrew, so I'm just going to say Andy because all the Andys.
All the Andys.
He is now Andy to me. He kept threatening, I'm making homebrew, I'm going to open a brewery, and his wife finally said those dreaded words, fine, do it.
Yeah.
And his shoulders dropped, his head sagged, and he went, fuck. Now I actually have to do this. Now I have to find other people.
I think it was
and
more.
Make this happen.
I think it was more like when she said "do it." I think it was more like fireworks blazing and like pie pans on his breast with like fireworks on. It's like, oh, I'm doing it now.
And then as those 22-hour days are hitting while they're trying to put everything together, he looks at his wife. You told me to do this. This is your fault.
Well, no,
I'm
it
not
was
home
when
anymore.
she wanted to know when he was going to do stuff around the house, and he's like, I'm trying to get this brewery open.
Sorry, babe, you told me to open this brewery.
Idea. And he's like, oh, I'm doing it.
Yep. Hearth Brewing is in the former Burwinkle Farm building down in Harrison, Ohio, which I remember going to a ton with my mom to get flowers for the garden and, seeds and all kinds of other fun stuff. I loved walking around the greenhouse.
Seeds.
It's a fantastic place.
Yeah.
It was
All
a
my
fantastic
seeds,
place to
Well,
buy
congratulations on your children.
Every seed I've ever purchased came from there.
I do love that they still use Burwinkle Farm produce in their beers, like the pumpkins for their pumpkin beer come from Burwinkle, so that is awesome that they're keeping what really was a huge core part of the community down in Harrison alive in what they're doing in that space now. I really
I find
like
it
that.
Can't wait for the Kmart collaboration.
That's going to be fantastic.
I really find it interesting. This is it's on topic but off. I find it kind of interesting that as we learned through Bruce Guy's Happy Hour, the guy who started the modern pumpkin ale didn't have pumpkin in it at all, and that breweries now tout if they have pumpkin in it in any way, shape, or form. And
most people don't really like pumpkin.
They like the spices.
And it doesn't taste like anything, actually.
Hearth is still working on trying to define their 6 to 8 core beers. So as you go there over the next few months, some of the beers that you think might be a flagship may not be on tap, but they are working on, again, just seeing what is sticking, what people want, and hopefully by this time next year, you'll always know that there are always going to be these set of styles available to you.
Yeah.
They talked about the
Yep,
the different spaces in Hearth Brewing and how they all have their own different feel. If you sit on the patio, you get one feel to the brewery and what the
Cold.
brewery is. Very cold, especially this time of year. If you sit on the mezzanine, you get a different feel. It feels a little more kind of upscale and a little more like you're looking down upon the peons sitting on the floor level, which technically you
the
are.
peasants.
Yes, the peasants down below. And then if you sit in front of the fireplace,
I like to throw Chinese checkers down on people.
aren't those just marbles?
No,
Okay.
different.
Okay.
They have flat
That's
bottoms.
what I was asking. Okay.
Flat bottom girls, they make the.
That's not. I don't think that's it.
That's not.
I don't think it's
Speaking
flat
of the
bottom.
fireplace, Caroline did say she would go full Karen if they ever show up down there for Ludwig Family Fridays, and there is no fire in the fireplace. They talked a bit about the food program, the family friendliness of the brewery, and keep an eye on the Craft Parenting Podcast YouTube channel and podcast feed, because sometime within the next 12 months, they are going to try to talk to the other 2 owners. It's a long-term project. Those are the notes that I had for episode 206 of Craft Parenting Podcast, where they talk to Hearth Brewing. Before I get to the sip count, do either of you have any other note? Sip count for this 30-ish minute episode. 29 sips, 58 ounces. That's almost a sip a minute.
Yeah.
It's almost a sip a
Pretty
minute.
good.
That is 3.625 pints during this episode.
All right.
All right.
Hell
and
yeah.
since we finished one episode, it is time to move on to another family tradition. I'm going for the blackberry brandy.
I'm
tradition.
going for the coffee.
I'm drinking the cigar because it's so good.
Ooh, okay. That's good, but it's not my favorite. You definitely
Ooh.
get the blackberry.
Oh, the coffee's
out of it.
good.
Is the coffee good?
Coffee's good.
I'm
It's
curious to
blackberry?
see. That's a blackberry, yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Man, Sonder does such a great job with these beers.
So good. Like blackberry wine. Oh, that's good. So this is me back again.
Thank
Coffee.
you. Oh, that coffee's fantastic. Man,
That's so good.
That's like a,
Oh, man.
That's like a dark
These are all
roast.
great.
So good.
That is like
Holy
a dark roast coffee.
shit.
I love how in the front you just get that family tradition, that amazing
That's how you know it tastes good.
Yeah.
that amazing stout taste. You get a bit of that barrel, and then all the flavors of the adjuncts hit you at the end where you're like, oh, there it is. So you get to experience every flavor that this beer has, like in a sequence.
Yeah.
Austin, who brews here
Yeah.
at Sonder, came out before we started recording and said hi. Let us know that
Something.
all the family tradition base and variants are all lactose free.
Yes.
And so
They've confirmed that every year, right?
Yes, but it's
Yeah.
still good to make sure that people know, because it's not on the board. I mean, you would have to ask.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like you shouldn't have to ask.
Right,
I
that's
feel
why
like
I'm
it
like,
should be
they're-
disclosed if it's not. Like, why are?
well, I'd love that to be the case.
Do you think that it should be disclosed if there's no lactose or if there is lactose?
If there is.
Or any allergen.
If-
Okay, yeah.
A common
Okay.
allergen.
Yes.
Lactose, nuts, things like that.
Wheat.
Like, weed. Yeah, like weed. If you have
Well,
weed water.
Wheat.
A
the
wheat.
one on the
Wheat.
board, the one on the
Wheat
board
thins.
that says stout aged in
Weed in weed barrels.
Maple.
Maple.
Top of the morning. That one does have lactose.
that one does have lactose, and it's not stated on the board.
Yes.
Okay. See, it should be.
Let's move on to Craft Parenting Podcast episode 207, Higher Gravity's 2024 Beervent Calendar Kickoff.
All right.
This was, yes.
Before we dive into Beervent season with their way of doing it.
Okay.
I have to say, I still don't like it. That they're cheating.
That they're doing multiple days in one.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
And
I understand and appreciate why they're doing it.
Joe said you can't do it any other way.
Yeah, you can.
I'm going to make it
can.
happen.
Hell yeah.
Joe said you can't do it.
Whoa.
Joe said you can't do
Down.
it.
Let's
I will.
do it. Competition.
Holy shit.
I will next year.
This was an 18-minute video/podcast episode. I say watch the video because Caroline in this one has a huge sack that she keeps grabbing
Yeah, she
onto.
does. Oh, yeah, she does.
And boy, she is pulling out things left and
Oh,
right.
Oh, she's
and
pulling on that
that's where the glitter's
sack.
coming from.
Yeah.
Glitter we were talking about before. This episode had a lot of parenting problems.
Yes.
Are they problems?
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Well, going
Here's my
by their
stance.
catchphrase, craft beer lovers
here's
with a
my
parenting
stance.
problem.
All right.
That's
You make
Hold
a
on.
craft parenting podcast.
you should have parenting problems.
There should
in
be
it.
something
Correct.
happening with your kids.
I'm not saying
Yeah.
that it is a problem. I'm just saying
Just
that
like,
the problem, the air quotes, what they call the problems,
Yeah.
were very present.
I would
this
say
episode.
as
Yeah,
your kids
yeah.
keep getting older, they should be a part of the show. Like it is an important
Right.
part of the craft parenting.
You had
Well,
a crusty old
prove it,
Elvis part of
Gnome.
your show. He did.
I
He
did,
had a
yeah.
crusty old Elvis part.
Well,
of his,
I-
yeah. And more
He was not
so,
crusty, he was-
or silly old Elvis.
Silly old elf.
I think
Yeah,
you
but
said
we haven't
crusty
gotten
like
there
I
yet.
call him
No,
crusty.
we
That was
haven't.
the-
We haven't. It's fine. It's fine.
That was me trying to
Yep.
tease it.
So
but-
this,
Okay, anyway.
This is their third year doing the higher gravity Beervent calendar. Again, this is an 18-minute episode, so we're not going to dive into too much. They talked about what the Beervent calendar is and their kind of hopes for what they'll see in this episode, or in this year's Beervent calendar. I have a breakdown of the kind of times of each of the different segments for this episode. 10 minutes of the 18-minute episode was Caroline reading directly from the higher gravity website what the Beervent calendar is, and that is my only mild complaint. She does such a good job of talking about things. I wish she would just say things in her own words
Talk about
instead
it.
of just reading.
I would like Caroline to read to me.
Okay. All right, so breakdown of the episode, 10 minutes of the 18-minute episode, Caroline's reading. 6 minutes was them dealing with their parenting problems.
Yeah.
1 minute was dedicated to adding props as they read through all the different areas of the Beervent calendar.
Yeah, they were
And
adding
the-
a lot of props.
And the final minute was their own insights and thoughts about what they hope is in
Whatever
this
Dollar
year's
Tree is
box.
closest to them
Made out
had
they had their biggest sale
tens
day
of
of the
dollars
year. Yes,
spent
yes.
on-
I feel like she made her props, right? It sounded
maybe
like-
some
sounded
of
like she
them.
was
No,
crafting
no.
all of them. I didn't
No,
watch the
Maybe some
video,
of
so I don't know what
them.
the
No,
props
it-
looked like. I just heard.
I think these were Dollar Tree acquisitions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounded like they were
Lots of
things she
glitter. Lots and lots of glitter. In this 18-minute
can
episode,
harvest glitter though.
they took
Hey, now.
15 sips,
My stripper name.
which is 30 ounces,
Okay.
1.875 pints in 18 minutes.
That's
That's
for the
not
time
bad.
of the show. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. That is
Pretty good.
absolutely pretty good. Before we get into the 2 episodes of the Weekly Pint, we have one family tradition left, and that is the cookie variant,
Nice.
Okay.
which
And you had the,
I'm very
you had
excited
the
about.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've heard good things about the cookie variant.
I have as well. I've heard this was the most,
The fan favorite.
yes, the fan favorite.
Yeah.
That is very good.
Marco's smelling it.
He is sipping it.
He's not confident that there's not lactose as he smells it. I can see it in
my
his
only-
eyes. Bullshit.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so I'm gonna wait, Gnome, for you to have your sip before I give, because I don't want my thoughts and
Okay.
opinions to cloud your judgment.
Smells like
There we go.
He did it. He just
smells like a microphone.
He just did a line of
yeah.
cookie variant.
Yes.
Smells like cookie dough.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Taking a
And he's doing the
Okay.
swish,
sip. Swish. Swish. Swish.
splish, splash. I was taking
Oh,
the
yeah,
bath.
No, that's good.
My thought when they introduced this variant, when they said this is going to be one of them, was it's the same adjuncts that every barrel-aged stout has in it. But the way they do this is completely different. I
Yeah.
thought it was going to be sweet. And
Yeah,
this
none
isn't
of
sweet.
these-
This is like
none of
almond
these-
biscotti kind of.
None of these taste like you could like they're adjuncted, obviously, but they're almost like just picking up on things that the barrel already contributes to the beer.
Yeah.
And just
It-
going. This is a good lineup.
It was
This might be
expertly
my-
done. It was a deft hand doing these things. It did not go over the top on any of the adjuncts.
No.
This was well done.
This might be my favorite lineup, like complete lineup of Family Tradition.
That's kind of where I am. Like, this might be my favorite lineup of barrel-aged beer. It's like it's paying homage to the actual barrel.
Yes.
And just going off of that. Like, it's not.
It's extremely well done. None of these are diabetes boxes.
No.
Yeah, a lot of the nerds aren't going to be happy with them.
These are, but they're still full.
They're
rich, thick stouts.
But they're not even that thick. Like it's not motor oil. It's,
Okay, well,
they're incredibly
we're all
drinkable.
thick in our own way.
Yeah, but these are really good. Really well done, Sonder.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Do you have a top 3?
Well,
Which again is very difficult. But were there 3? Like to me,
I think
apple brandy,
Apple brandy.
or the apple brandy, yeah, that would make it into that top 3.
Cookie was great.
Cookie, yeah.
For me, I'm not so much on the flavorings and all that. So I'm gonna go cigar base and apple brandy.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go base apple and cookie.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go apple, cigar, cookie, I think.
Okay. Sonder, congratulations on a absolutely phenomenal lineup
Phenomenal.
of Family Traditions.
It's
here.
good.
This is
It's really good.
This is very, very good. I am glad that we came up to do this. 2 more episodes to talk about.
Oh,
both
shit.
of them,
Okay.
Yes, both of them weekly Pint episodes. Well, speaking of fun parts, how about we just go ahead and move into?
Nobody can hear it.
No one can hear that.
That
Oh, I have
you
the
gotta-
wrong. No, I have the.
That's not even the
No,
right thing.
it's the wrong. It will be, but I
right.
put
Promise?
the wrong.
Let it
Yes.
be.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, there it is.
Oh shit!
Right as he's going to pee. Oh.
Damn it! I was going to pee
He
for real.
was. For real. And then we'll take a break after this, I promise.
I just peed my pants. I was so excited.
Oh, jeez.
Speaking of peeing.
It is time for the Truth, Beer, and Consequences NFL Deathmatch Challenge. We are in Week 14. Do we want to talk about who has how many points this week?
Nope.
No.
Let's just update
Let's
it
just
in the
do
show
it.
notes, and
All right.
that's all people
Will
need to know.
do. Gnome, I'm going
God
to you
damn it.
first. Do you want to wait? Do you need time to think?
No. I know
Okay.
where I'm going.
Where are you going, sir?
I'm going Houday.
All right.
I can't stop.
It's a problem.
It's my team. It's my
a
team.
problem. Yeah.
It's not.
All right, hold
It's
on.
not a problem.
It's no. All right, Marco, who are you picking this
All right,
week?
hold on.
Week
Let's see what we
14
got.
How do you not have your pick already?
I know. You have all day, all week to plan for this. Or actually,
What do you mean? How do I?
What do you mean? I looked this shit up at work. I take time out of my
I got my
busy
picks
day.
all
I
season
know,
already
you-
laid out.
Wait until next season when we can't pick the same team each week. Because I liked that idea that you had.
No, it's
Just so you
it's
know.
No.
great
You can't
idea.
pick the same team.
We'll have to talk about it next
I don't
year.
like it.
You said it.
It's the right
All
way
right,
to do
Marco.
it, but I don't like it.
Who are you going with this week?
There should be a week that could be a fun rule for next season. That 1 week, if both people vote, they can control somebody else's pick for the week.
I'm going with the Eagles over the Panthers.
Oh my God, that's
All right.
a boring pick.
But it's a safe pick.
It's a safe pick, but it's boring.
I'm also going to do a fairly safe pick. I'm going Vikings again.
Who are they playing?
Panthers. Or,
No.
That can't work.
no. Because I was thinking about picking the Eagles. So that's why it's stuck in my head. I don't remember offhand who they're playing. But I think it's going to be a... Well, I thought last week was going to be a sure thing as well, and it's most certainly
Did not
was
happen.
Holy, they barely squeaked by. It was terrifying. Those are our picks. I have everything in the show notes for you, so that just ignore Don Rock the Imposter talking in the background
Okay,
because I picked
that's
the
fine.
wrong sound clip
At
file.
some point, the music will start,
Yes,
right?
it absolutely will. So, Marco, you go ahead and pee. Once the music starts, we're going to take a break.
There it is.
There we go.
Oh, there's the music.
Check out Don Rock the Imposter on YouTube. It's amazing. It's wonderful. It will be the best part of your day. And, yeah, we only have a few weeks left before someone wins the regular season.
It's going to be me.
We'll see about that.
got this.
While we discuss
Who
that,
dey?
we're going to take a break, and we will be right back.
Back. Shit. Back.
We have made it.
Back.
Oh, you were so close.
So close.
So close, yet so far away. All right. 2 shows to talk about. Both of them, I'm going to go ahead and do it. Weekly, oh God, which family tradition do I cheers with? I'll do base. The weekly Pint. Cheers for saying the name wrong. Man, I can't get over just how fantastic all of these beers are.
It's wonderful.
It is amazing. Gnome, you do not have family tradition in your glass right now.
No, I went with
What are you cleansing your palate with?
what is the IPA with spruce tips and lime?
Oh,
or whatever.
yeah. I forget what it's called, but
Do they call it an IPA?
I think so.
I think we talked about that.
Yeah,
Some of the
yeah.
Good things.
I had that on their anniversary. I got
It's not an
taste or
IPA.
something of it.
It's a Kolsch.
I agree. It's. I don't feel that it
It's good.
embodies the IPA. It's
Good-
very good.
really
It's
good
very
beer.
good. But yeah, the style just isn't quite what I think.
Especially behind the
Think.
scenes
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
today in the tap room. There's a lot of pine
Yes.
boughs laying all over the
Yes.
place.
There was
It
a
smells,
wreath making class here. It smells so
smells
good.
a little Christmassy, and this beer
It
fits the situation perfect.
There you go. There you go. All right, let's go ahead and roll through 2 episodes of the Weekly Pint because I just want to sit around and hang out and talk with you guys and enjoy the rest of
Okay.
my family tradition without
Yep,
feeling
yep.
like we're creating content every time.
Yep.
Good job, Ducky. Episode 237. I'm holding it all back right now. This one,
I messed up my
missed
titles.
yeah, that's fine.
I had
It's fine.
intentions.
Yes, this one you missed Monday because of things. So this time you
frustrating.
went live on Wednesday, November 27th. Which again, it's fine. I was home. I was actually able
Day
to
before
catch it.
Thanksgiving. That's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It is perfect. You do what you can when you can.
Behind the scenes.
Find the opportunities and seize them.
Behind the scenes,
By the balls.
reason that I was holding it all back
Balls.
is that we went out before the show was actually supposed to debut,
On the typical Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and we had Christmas cocktails.
Yep.
Yep. Like full on Christmas
Like-
cocktails, like gummy Santas and all kinds of stuff. There's a
Nice.
lot of things that I wanted to talk about on that show, but then it got bumped a couple days and it just didn't work out the way it was supposed to.
See, I read the title as there are things you want to talk about, but you can't. Like,
Well,
you
that
can't
was
publicly.
Yeah,
you know.
that was part of. I was kind of tricking people a little bit.
So the things that you did talk about, you drank kickstand cocktails. You drank all
did.
4 of the
Drank 'em all.
spicy flavors. Which, as you finished each can after the show,
Mm-hmm.
did you come to any other conclusions? Did the heat kind of build for you a little bit more during it? No,
they were not as spicy as they should be. Like you still need a hot
agree.
one.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that for who they are, who I think they're trying to market to,
Yes.
they're fine.
Yeah.
They're fine. It's a spicy cocktail without it being
Spicy.
spicy. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, well, that's a problem.
It's approachable,
I get
but
that
yeah.
in a line of spicy cocktails, you need some that are not spicy,
Mm-hmm.
but then you also need some that are.
It's no death. It's no Toll House or Earth Daisy caps.
Yep.
It's not. These are not spicy drinks,
Right.
but they do have. I think for some people that are very sensitive to spice, it can make their tongue tingle just a bit.
Yeah.
But again,
accept
for
that.
my then you talked a bit about the closing of 16 lots, both locations. Which it's right before the holidays, which I understand these are slower times for, or creeping into those slower times for all breweries, all bars, but I don't know. It sucks, but I also have mixed feelings. I feel like it. From what we understood about at least Southern Outpost, they were trying. They were grasping at every possible measure that they could to stay open. So I had a feeling back in last March, was it? That they or when was it that they or last February?
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I really hope they're able to pull this off. But personally, my hopes weren't super high. But the fact that they did have to close and both locations went. I mean, that's kind of that 1-2 punch to where you're going, oh man, they couldn't find a way to separate the two enough. My heart definitely goes out to everyone involved, everyone. I know they were kind of running skeleton crews to everyone.
They went from like 44 employees to like
12 or something.
No, it was less than that.
Was it less than that?
It was
Okay.
like
Between both locations?
No.
I'm going
it's
both.
just Southern Outpost.
But everyone that lost their job because from ownership to the other employees.
Everybody.
You know what I like? That's you don't want that for
I think. And
you don't want that for a brewery. You don't want that for.
This is me coming from the outside looking in. Obviously, I was not employed there. I think that everybody knew that this was coming. They prepped everybody far enough ahead of time and said, "Hey,
FYI,
this is coming. Start figuring your shit out.
Yeah.
And for those of you that we need you, please hang out with us until
Still
things
sucks.
are closed."
Still sucks.
I think they did it the right way.
I agree with that.
I really think
agree with that.
it's hard to do it the right way, and what the right way means is very.
Yeah. It's courtesy to the patrons of that establishment to be told, hey, we appreciate all your support over the days, years, weeks, months, whatever that we've been open. Unfortunately, our doors have to close, rather than someone shows up and says, there's a sign on the door that says, so long and thanks for all the fish. I don't know.
Yeah.
But no, I think that it's good to your point that to their employees, they did it the right way. They let them know what was going on. And I guess
anybody who is a regular knew what was happening.
Probably. It still sucks. It sucks,
does.
and you're probably going, man, I really hope that I don't actually see these doors close.
I think.
And then it happens.
I think there were a lot of regulars up here in Mason that maybe got caught a little bit off guard. But
Yeah. But as you also said in this episode, when one door closes, another one or two open.
Yeah.
Mellowtone down and over the Rhine and Braxton's Union location have both opened.
Yeah.
And so that bubble is not bursting. It's just shifting. It's just changing. It's just becoming.
It's not even a bubble.
No. It's the voids will always be refilled with something new. We don't want the voids to happen, but
no, we do.
They're not going to stay that so long.
We want things to keep getting better, as you know.
But at the expense of long-term, well-known. You know what I mean, right? It's a.
I don't want to word it this way, but weak places have to go.
Sure.
And better places have to replace them.
Sure, yeah.
That's how things have to keep going over the next, 20 years. That's where we need to be. Our beer scene has to just keep getting better and better and better.
And I do think, and you've touched on this many, many times before, I do think that we're starting to hit an era or a stage in the Cincinnati craft brewery life cycle to where the people that opened those first breweries, 10 years ago or so, they're starting to, I don't want to say age out of the
they're
system,
old.
but they're getting to the point where they're kind of maybe, I'm ready to retire. Maybe I'm ready to travel with my family.
Yeah.
I'm ready to do whatever. So the decision then becomes, do we just close the door, or do we try to find someone to buy that will hopefully either keep what we're doing, keep that spirit alive, or change that spirit into their own vision of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I these aren't the first, they're not going to be the last, and I think we are going to see more frequently for a brief period as that original ownership
shift and change.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. People just have to be willing to accept our landscape is going to change. The same breweries are not going to be around all the time.
Yep.
Two of the other topics that you talked about, Sam Adams buying land in the West End for possible expansion, for possible storage, for possible...
Yeah.
Maybe they are going to take some of those buildings.
It's a place for their trucks, is all it is right now.
They're going to raise... This is my truth. They're going to raise those buildings. They're going to create gigantic beer gardens out of those spaces, and that's where Bachfest is going to be held until the end of time.
I can get behind that.
Sure, that'd be great.
Yeah,
That'd be great.
that'd be fun.
And then you are ready for Christmas.
I am. I'm so ready.
You are very ready for Christmas.
Bring me all the schnapps.
This was a 55-minute episode, even though you kind of went, you started later in the week. You weren't sure how long it was going to go. But, I mean, with the chatter and chat, we, typically keep you talking longer than maybe you want to. Were there any other notes before the sip count for this episode? No? Okay. 32 sniffs, which I didn't write down what beer you drank. Or no, you had the 4 cocktails. But you also, didn't you have a beer? No, you didn't. You just had the 4.
No, I think it's just...
I don't know. I didn't clarify in my notes. It's fine. 32 sniffs and 12 sips.
Okay.
So 3 drinks per flavor, which works.
That's fine.
That's 44 total countables, 88 ounces of your favorite beverage if you're playing our drinking game. That is 5.5 pints in this 55-minute episode.
Nice.
Respectable.
A pint every 10 minutes. It is very respectable. Let's go ahead and move on to the last weekly pint so that we can kind of wrap things up, finalize our thoughts on family tradition, then just hang out for a bit.
Hang out.
Episode 238, to heck with it, I'm all in for Christmas, which is how we ended the
It's also what I didn't talk about in this episode at all.
I have a feeling that a lot of that was because of a distraction that you had.
Little crusty gnome.
Called Silly Old Elf.
Nope, crusty gnome.
Crusty gnome? Crusty elf.
Crusty elf, yeah.
Silly crusty elf. Crusty old elf. Anyway, the elf, whatever.
I need to explore how he came up with this name at some point.
You're right. That would be very, very interesting to know how... The word old, like why? Yeah. Why is that?
Silly old elf.
Why is that little gnomes? So little gnome was.
It's got to do. It has to do
something
about like gnomes and like his interpretation of what a gnome is.
A gnome is.
Got to be something about.
Has to be.
Yeah. Let's see. You drank that day's Beervent beer, which was day 2, a yuzu lager, which I mean,
it's a great beer.
That was fantastic.
So good.
If it was summer, I would crush that. That would be. In my fridge all the time.
You know what I would drink right now if I could?
One of those?
No.
Lager? No.
Citrus.
Citrus Subra?
Yeah, Citrus Subra.
Yeah. Yes. They keep just changing Subra. I mean, why do they have to make it so complicated? Can't they just stick to the way things are?
That's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, that's in my fridge. I'm probably not going to be drinking it tonight. So
I will.
So I'm going to drink 2 beers tomorrow as this comes. This is not going to be a spoiler if you're listening to this when it comes out either Thursday or Friday. So, and if it is, open your Beervent boxes.
Open it
on the day.
After the fact.
Right. If it's the day after, it's fine. You talked about family advent calendars and how somehow grande is the best German word.
Oh, it's a great German
in the
word.
world.
Yeah, great German word.
I'll tell you, silly old elf, crusty old elf, what are we going with here? His pronunciation of a very hard, rough German word, amazing. Is he in a bilingual school?
But are these difficult searches for the advent calendars per person, or are they pretty easy if you just search up advent calendar?
Like to find, to buy one for yourself?
Because each of your kids has their own advent calendar. You have your own advent calendar.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Yeah. There are a lot of them.
You can find an advent calendar for whatever your interest is.
Okay.
They're all over.
All right.
There was a tiny touch on something you said you were not going to talk about, which is Listerman Brewing, because there was a Reddit post with some very strong opinions.
But I do want to talk about the brewery that's for sale.
Yes. In Hamilton County.
Don't want to talk about the Listerman, but I want to talk about that.
The brewery that's for sale, that's in Hamilton County. That's 13,000 square feet. Yeah. It's turnkey, award-winning brews, a kitchen.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah. Someone's for sale.
Somebody is definitely for sale.
Someone is absolutely for sale.
But they all say they're not.
And it's for $575,000?
$75,000? Pennies. Yeah. I mean, we could go in on that.
It's just the business.
It's just the business, not the space.
Is it
somebody else owns
that is almost the same price that Fibonacci is for sale for?
No.
That is a
coincidence. Yeah,
if you combine the 2 Fibonacci buildings, does that make 13,000?
Nope.
I know.
Different.
They're their own listing.
Not them.
Is all good.
Definitely not them.
There was some.
It's Listerman. It's Listerman. Listerman's for sale.
They're not.
To be fair,
To be fair.
I sat in front of her. She looked me in the eyes and she said, "No, we are not for sale."
I don't know.
How would you lie
Well,
to somebody's face?
this post is not new.
No,
It's been up for a while.
been up for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't lie.
No.
Yeah, nobody lies.
They're not doing so well
I-
with that then.
Don't lie to me.
All right.
Why would you look at me and lie to me? Don't lie.
I do think that some of the conversation that you did have about Listerman in general and why they may be in kind of a slump is some people, to them, Listerman is not a, air quote, good brewery, the right brewery, unless it's that
Right.
original rickety bar top that they first experienced.
That's
Or
dumb.
or it's not worth visiting if they're
It's not dumb.
they're not releasing
Valid.
a hazy IPA or a barrel aged stout.
They're
every
not
other
good
week.
unless it's a rickety bar top. That's dumb. They're not dumb
Everyone-
unless
everyone
it
has their own
has the
way
feel of the place that had the rickety bar top. That I get.
Bottom line is every brewery cannot be everything to everyone, which you have mentioned
Yeah.
an untold number of times.
You don't have to.
You don't have right. Find what you're doing, do it well, own who you are and what you want to be, and the people that respect that will show up and will
And don't lie to
and
people.
will and don't lie to people. Let's see other things that you talked about. Cincinnati is weird in the winter.
Yeah.
Weather shifts are all over the place. I think on Thursday it's going to be a high of like 27 degrees, and I'm
Yeah.
not ready for that. Weed water from 50 West, Sunflower, might just be your
It's the best.
favorite weed
Not
water
just might be, it's
ever.
the best.
It is the best. We talked a bit about how drinking isn't always for the buzz. Like if I could
Yeah.
have all of these family tradition variants without the inebriating effects of the alcohol in it, but the taste is 100% there, my God, I would be so freaking happy.
Right.
But because there is alcohol, I have to be very careful in how I consume it, when I consume it, where I consume it, that type of thing. Sometimes that buzz is enjoyable. Sometimes
Yeah,
you're
it's-
like, I kind of want to just have some fun, feel a little looser, that type of thing. But man, if the non-alcoholic beverage space finds a way to replicate this,
Well, that's the scary
and how
part.
do you
though.
right?
Because the weed water stuff is still intoxicating. Like
Yes, but that's also
you're
still
still
a,
quote unquote drunk.
at least with weed water, like all you're going to do is sit at a stop sign waiting for it to turn green. And
That's fine.
Yeah. Hopefully.
no, don't
But, I mean,
don't
like-
drive under the influence of
just-
anything. Just be safe. Be courteous of those people around you. The last thing that you talked about in the weekly pint is turkey bacon is not bacon. Cauliflower
It's
not.
wings are
Not
not
bacon.
wings.
Not.
But we do somewhat disagree on boneless wings being nuggets.
No. They're a different form of nuggets.
But they're still a nugget.
They're still a nugget.
It's still just
yeah.
in the class
I
of
accept that.
nuggetry.
I accept
Okay.
that.
No,
All right.
Just
boneless
different.
wings being nuggets is perfectly fine.
They're
Okay.
They
grown-up-
are
they're-
nuggets.
But they're grown-up nuggets. They're different.
But still nugs.
Don't mind it.
Yeah.
Don't
Different.
mind.
Yeah.
If you're gonna call boneless wings nuggets, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Don't call them boneless wings.
There's no such thing as a boneless wing.
Correct.
All right, before we get to the sip count of this 1 hour and 5 minute weekly pint episode 238, to heck with it, I'm all in for Christmas. Any other notes?
Nope.
Thoughts?
Nope.
Marco?
No.
No? All
Good.
right. 9 sips. 17 sniffs. You were smelling
Okay.
that beer. That beer smelled amazing.
Yeah.
So I don't fault you for that at all. 26 total countables, which is 52 ounces, 3.25 pints.
That's
Nice.
In a
respectable.
little over an hour. Absolutely. That concludes this episode and this
Wonderful.
year's True the Beer Podsequences tradition of recording at Sonder for Family Tradition
Family
Day.
Tradition Day. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers to everyone.
Woo!
Hell yeah.
Fun.
It's fun, it's delicious, and I can't wait to do this again next year.
Let's do it again.
Let's do it again next year.
Let's keep the tradition going.
Absolutely. If you like what we have done this episode,
Or if you don't.
Yeah.
Still like,
That's
review,
fine.
subscribe, share, all that good stuff.
Follow, like, subscribe.
Super easy. Go to truthbeerpod.com. Get links to everything from our sister podcast where we give you all the beer events happening in Cincinnati, and the link to sign up for our newsletter where you get those events emailed to you once a week. We only have 8 subscribers, which is 2 less than the number of subscribers to the podcast. So,
What?
Yeah, we don't, it's not, numbers aren't good.
It's
But we're still going to try.
my fault.
It is not your fault. We're still going to try our damnedest. Get some family tradition here at Sonder in the tap room if you can before it is gone. Every single variant is spectacular. The base is spectacular. And, we're going to hang out, finish these beers, and just talk some shit.
Hell yeah.
All right.
We're going to lie to Gnome. We're going to lie to Gnome.
Story of my life.
All right. Catch you guys. And
Don't lie to me.
hey, what are you guys going to be doing next Tuesday?
Drink a beer.
Drink beer. Next
Hell
week.
yeah. Cheers.